Alright, here we are atop Missionary Ridge, looking down the city of Chattanooga, and over there the mountain is Lookout Mountain. And then panning right into the north, you see downtown Chattanooga. And Raccoon Mountain, I think it's called Sentinel Mountain out there, where the Grand Canyon of the Tennessee River is. It's very beautiful up here. Missionary Ridge was a scene of some back and forth fighting between the north and south. Alright, this is the Ohio Reservation on top of Military Ridge. And there's the Ohio Monument. You can see it's in a neighborhood. Very expensive properties right along Missionary Ridge, Crest Road. Some very, very expensive mansions up here. Alright, this is called Orchard Knob down in Chattanooga. There's some monuments to the regiments that were here. Up there in the distance is Missionary Ridge, where we came from earlier. Some very elaborate monuments. These positions attacked Missionary Ridge up there with those $1 million homes. You can see this knob's got lots of monuments on it. And Lookout Mountain is over there to the east. City of Chattanooga down there. Looks like the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. And facing Missionary Ridge again. Alright, this is Point Park on Lookout Mountain, overlooking Chattanooga. Which is down there by the Tennessee River. It's a marvelous view. Here again is Point Park at the top of Lookout Mountain. The gates to Point Park. And the view down below of the Tennessee River. Chattanooga. Very strategic point to try to hold for the Confederacy, and the gateway to the deep south for the Union, who won here in November of 1863. It's a tremendous view. This is kind of at the base of Lookout Mountain where Hooker had his men. Here's an Iowa monument towards the end of the day. And looking up, see some of the monuments we visited, and the Craven House, and there's the top of Lookout Mountain up there. Looking back down Lookout Mountain. Chattanooga's down behind those woods still, so we're not quite at the base of Lookout Mountain. This is Wilder's Brigade's monument. This is the only place in the line along the Lafayette Road that the Union held when the Confederates broke through in the Battle of Chickamagua. This was the site of Widow Eliza Glenn's home, where General Rosecrans had his headquarters during the battle before being routed and fleeing back to Chattanooga. But here Colonel Wilder was able to hold this part of the Union line when the Confederates broke through a bit north here on the Lafayette Road. And there's the Lafayette Road out there. Here's another view of the monument where Colonel Wilder resisted the Confederate advance and the Confederate tide in the Battle of Chickamagua. Alright, on this spot was the Widow Glenn's house where General Rosecrans' headquarters was during the Battle of Chickamagua. It was burned during the battle, and Colonel Wilder's Lightning Brigade held this position for the Union while the rest of the Union fled back to Chattanooga after being routed by the Confederates. All right, this is the area of the battlefield where the Union right was broken and fled. The Confederates had broken through the Union right behind those woods at Brotherton Cabin. General Longstreet charging through the woods, breaking the defense along the Lafayette Road. And when Union General Rosecrans saw that he was routed, he and his top officers fled from this landscape back up through the mountain passes and such to Chattanooga, leaving only one officer, General Thomas, who was called the Rock of Chickamagua, to keep the whole Union Army from being crushed. And they made a stand at Snodgrass Hill before they later fled back to Chattanooga as well. Alright, this spot on the battlefield is essentially where the South won the Battle of Chickamagua, because they broke through the Union's right here, crossed the Lafayette Road, which the Union was trying to defend, and Longstreet exploited a hole, a gap in the Union line that Rosecrans mistakenly believed did not exist until it was too late. So Longstreet took advantage of that fortuitous find to find the gap in the line. It was an accidental find. He exploited it, and he pushed through the Union right and routed the Union Army, or the Union position here, and they fled essentially back to a point in front of us behind those trees, Snodgrass Hill, when all of the rest of the army under Rosecrans had left. General Thomas was the only one in the Union defending the place, the highest ranking officer left defending it. And this is essentially where the bloodiest two-day battle of the Western Theater in the Civil War was fought. Essentially won right here in this ground that we're standing on, where Longstreet in the South broke through the Union lines and forced the Union Army back to Chattanooga. Unfortunately, Bragg couldn't capitalize on that win and could not retake the city of Chattanooga ever. Thus opened the way for General Sherman to march through, resupply his army through Chattanooga, and march through Georgia to the sea.